Hi guys, Lupian here. Today I want to talk to you about the Outriders demo. Give you my opinion on how it's going and just have a bit of a chat about it, so let's get into it. Firstly, we've got to talk about that screen shake and the motion blur that's in the game at the moment. Guys, it's intense. The screen shake in the cutscenes it just makes it really difficult to get immersed in the game, I find anyway. And the motion blur when you're moving your gun around, it's such fast-paced gunplay, and I feel myself getting a bit dizzy sometimes if I'm doing it too much, to be honest. The only other negative I found in the game was that the gameplay loop is it seems very repetitive. I mean, I'm still having a lot of fun with it, but at the moment it feels like a wave shooter. I mean, you go into an area, shoot a bunch of guys, use your abilities lots, and then you come out and you go into another area and do the same thing again. And then you might get to fight a boss. I'm just wondering, is there more diversity? Is there objectives you've got to find, or something just to freshen up the gameplay loop a little bit? Maybe there is further on in the actual game. I mean, we've seen just the first act. I mean, we haven't seen very much of the game at all. The demo has only given us a glimpse into it. But I just hope there is more to it, because I just know that was one of the things that Anthem had problems with. A very repetitive gameplay loop, not much diversity in the combat style, things like that. So guys, with the negatives out of the way, let's have a look at all the positives that this game has going for it at the moment. And I've found so many things that I'm enjoying about this game. Guys, I'm having a blast. Firstly, the healing mechanic is so refreshing. I mean, being able to heal when you're in combat just makes everything so much faster, so much more active. The way it's designed means I have to get into combat if I want to heal. Meaning that there's less downtime, there's less time where I'm hiding behind cover waiting for my health, because it doesn't work like that. So it's a lot faster paced, it's a lot more aggressive, and having the abilities coupled with that where you can get kills on the smaller guys without much of a problem means that you've always got that cannon fodder, I guess, to be able to get your health back. So that makes it really, really easy to stay active, to stay aggressive. Which leads me directly into my second point. The aggressive combat style I just find it so great because it's so different. The healing mechanic goes hand in hand with this aggressive style, and it's so different than what I'm used to playing. Very rarely do you have so much happening at once where you've actually got to get in there to be able to progress. It does make it difficult at times, but it does also keep it so much fun, and I am having a blast, guys. The third thing I found was the weapon perk diversity is great. There's perks that change how your reload works, that can cause damage to enemies close by when you are reloading. There's perks that slow or stop the enemy in their tracks. There's perks that cause damage like bleed and burn, and there are a lot of perks that change how the weapon itself functions. So when you start getting to the blue gear, and I'll get into that a bit later, but when you start getting into that higher end gear, you can get the same weapon with two different perks, and that weapon can function completely different. The fourth one was the armor perks. Now, I've listed these separately because they are very separate. The weapon perks work directly with that weapon, whereas the armor perks seem to focus more on your abilities and how your abilities work. You've got some armor perks that change the damage output of an ability or the area of effect. It can give certain abilities status effects. It just seems like the diversity of the perks on both the weapons and the armor are so great that even if you get the same bit of armor, same as a weapon, if you get the same bit of armor with a different perk, it can change your build completely. And so I'm having fun running different perks in my armor with different abilities that I've got to see which ones mix and match the best. And so that's taken up a lot of my time at the moment. and I am not bored yet, and I think this game is going to last quite a while. So number 5 leads straight on from the other two. The tier system they have in their armor and their weapons. I find this tier system to be different than I've seen on other games, where you've got a weapon that's in the white category, the common, and you get nothing, you've just got the weapon. Or the armor itself just gives you armor. But then you get the green ones and you start getting stat boosts as well. So you might get life leech or anomaly power or something like that. But it's not until you get to the blue gear where you actually start getting perks on the armor. You start getting your causes cryo damage or increased blast radius, things like that. And then once you get into your purples, you start getting 2 perks, and they can get tier 2 perks, so they do more. They're higher levels, so they increase your damage more or things like that. And then you get your legendaries, and these things look incredible. And I noticed that as you're using different tiers, that it changes completely how the game plays, and it's really refreshing each step you take. The last thing I noticed is the loot is actually quite meaningful. Every time I pick up a green bit of gear, I know that I'm going to be able to get some shards for the stats. When I pick up a blue bit of gear, I'm checking to see if I've already unlocked the ability to be able to craft it in the full game. There's just so much complexity to it that I'm still finding it quite refreshing. Now, I haven't been able to spend as much time in the game as I would like, but even in the 40 hours or so I've put in so far, I'm noticing that this gear is actually still meaningful to me, and I know I'm probably going to stop picking up green gear as the game progresses. But even still, if I'm in blue gear at the moment, it doesn't mean that the green gear I find as I level up will be better than what I'm using, and I'll have to break down the blue gear that I'm using at the moment. And so it just seems that the loot will stay meaningful for quite a while. Now, I hope in the end game that the loot still stays as meaningful as it does today. It's probably a lot to ask, having it as meaningful in the end game as it is now, but that's what we can hope for. And just to finish off, guys, I'm having an absolute blast with this game. I think the guys at People Can Fly have done a really good job, and I'm going to be jumping back in now to try and actually get some legendaries. But thanks heaps for watching. If you guys liked the video, then please let me know by hitting that like button. If you want more videos from Outriders, then please just hit that subscribe button. And if you want to leave a comment down below, just let me know what your experience with the demo has been so far, what you think of it, what your favourite character is, and what you hope to see in the full game. That would be great. Thanks again for coming, and we'll catch you in the next one.